What's up today, everybody? Today we're going to talk about NIO stock and why it's fallen from that high of $60 mark all the way down to about $35. And as of time of recording, it's at about 38-ish right now. So we're just going to talk about why it's fallen so hard, what's going on with it right now, if it's a buy, a sell, a hold, and what I'm doing with it. And this is all just for entertainment purposes only. So if you like the content, think about subscribing, and let's talk about our boy NIO stock. So we're just going to go ahead and go over the bullet points of why I believe, in my personal opinion, this has fallen from about $60 to $35, or why, at least recently, it's been floating from like $45 to like $35. So here's a couple of the big ones. So this all kind of started with NIO's earnings, and I'm not going to dive into it very much. I will just say that they missed their expected, earnings per share by quite a bit. So their earnings per share was minus 16 cents per share. What expected was 7 cents per share miss underneath. So why that's a problem, in my opinion at least, is that, okay, profitability is going to take a little bit longer to get to. It's going to take, more time to get there. And, that's probably what everybody's thinking with that. So that one is understandable, but their growth was still really, really on point. But we'll dip on that in a little bit. They're worried about getting delisted from the New York Stock Exchange, which I haven't heard much about it now, but I know that was a big worry before, and that caused it to drop some as well. In recent history, the biggest thing was they stopped all of their production for 5 days, in their Hefei plant, and this is due to a chip shortage that everybody is having. It's not just them, it's Ford, Honda, Tesla, and GM that are all having these chip shortage issues. So it's not just them that are having these issues with the chips. So in Q1 now, they're expected to go from 20,500 vehicles down to 19,500 vehicles, and I'm not super worried about that either, and we'll get into that right now. So another question that we can go ahead and ask ourselves is, are EV stocks all in a bubble? So that's kind of questionable as well, because everything is trading at such high valuations. Like Tesla's trading at a high valuation, NIO's trading at a relatively high valuation, Li Auto, Workhorse, which got destroyed. But anyway, the EVs are kind of trading at a high valuation right now. So that's my concern. Are they going to come back down to normal valuations? But I believe NIO is kind of valuated as like a high growth stock, which even if they just hit that 19,500, that's still going to be a 400% increase of vehicles they pumped out from Q1 2020 to Q1 2021. So I'm really, really not worried about it going down a little bit. The chip shortage, I feel like that's going to get addressed at some point. Whoever makes the chips is going to make money. So they're going to eventually figure that out. And since it's such a high demand, people are going to start making these chips. So I do feel like that's kind of a short-term woe at this point, but I guess we'll see if that continues to hinder it. So let's dive into just scoot the chair over a little bit. Let's dive into what I'm doing for this one then. So for me, my personal story is I bought a bunch of shares at like $12. I was selling covered calls on these that I thought were super far out of the money. And when it blasted from the 20s to the 30s, I ended up losing all my shares at about $27, $28 per share. So for me, I've been kind of looking into how I can get back into this stock because I really like NIO stock. I think their growth is like crazy. I do believe EVs are the future, and I think they're going to do really well. So for me, this has been just a huge buying opportunity. So I've been able to load the boat on NIO shares from what I've been buying. So I've started at 45, and I've been kind of costing down to 35, and now I have a price average of about 40. So I'm super happy with that because I feel like once all the short-term stuff passes, once thing gets back on track, once this chip woe is all over with and everything, I think it's easily going to get back up to, 40s, maybe 50s, possibly even the new highs of 60s. And eventually in the future, I plan on holding this for years and years. I think it could go, super duper duper high. I've also been able to pick up a couple Tesla shares, which I'm pretty happy about when it went sub 600. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so those are kind of the short-term woes on NIO. I just wanted to make a quick video why I feel like it's not going to be that big a deal, and I feel like everybody's kind of overreacting to everything going on with it. But if you like the content, think about subscribing. Hopefully we make some money on NIO stock. So thanks.